Really struggling with muni bonds. Well, muni bonds are there. I mean, there's 20 questions plus or minus. You're not going to have to adjust the cost base unless it's a muni bond at a premium. If you put a creation into my channel search bar, Melissa, literally 15 examples of me walking you through amortization and adjusting cost basis on munis is available to you. So just put that in the channel search bar. I'll give you an example. If, Melissa, we buy a muni bond for $120, $1,200. What I'd like to do is realize that $200 loss whenever it's convenient for me. The IRS thinks that if I buy a muni bond, Melissa, I have other investments. They're correct. You don't take your last buck and buy a muni. P.S. I'm also buying a muni at a premium, which means my coupon is higher than today's return. So the IRS says, well, Dean, you can't decide when to take that $200 loss whenever it's convenient for you. You're going to have to do straight line amortization downward. I got to take that loss and little bitty hit. So let's say I bought it for $120, $1,200. It has 10 years to maturity. So it's kind of like the first step of yield to maturity. I'm losing $200 over 10 years. So each year on my tax return, I'm not being facetious, Melissa. I am arithmetically challenged. Somebody offers me a calculator, I'm going to say thank you very much. So $200 divide by 10, not a test term, but what I'm doing is straight line amortization downward called decretion. $200 divide by 10 years to maturity, 20 years. So now let's say then the question, I'll do it in test question format, Melissa. Your client buys a muni bond for $120 with 10 years to maturity. After holding it for 6 years. All right, so now I times that by 6. What is your client's adjusted cost base? Well, 1,200 minus 120, my adjusted cost base is 108. $20 times 6, 108, 1,080. They sell it for 110. Now, if you miss this completely, it's 50% chance, Melissa, you're going to have to do this. That you're going to have to do what I'm setting up here. Mainly it's recognition, but about half the time you might actually have to deal with this. So now they say you sold it at 110. Now, if you miss this completely, Melissa, you're going to say, I bought it for 120. I sold it for 110. I lost $100. But no, if my adjusted cost base, 1,200 minus 120 was 108, and I sell it for 1,100, I actually have a $20 gain. So that is the test question, right? You do the amortization, you adjust the cost base, and then you compare it to whatever your sales proceeds were. Again, for a muni bond purchased at a premium.